What types of places around the city do I feel are more hazardous than before and why? The subway is more hazardous because it is a perfect place to dispense COVID and diseases underground. Even though they're cleaning it a lot, I still think it's pretty dangerous. Um, I think like main areas where there's bars, where there's lots of bars because of the amount of drinking out in the street. So you have an awful combination of heat. People are unemployed and bored, and they're drinking out on the street at all hours of the day. And I've noticed in my neighborhood alone that walking down to 30th Avenue from 48th Street, um, the number of sort of suspicious folks who are not the faces I normally see in my neighborhood has increased like tenfold. And yeah, I mean, when you live somewhere a long time, you just sort of are subconsciously used to certain faces in the sense of, and I don't mean race, I mean like, faces, like just the people you see. So when you catch faces that you're like, I don't see this face walking around here. Now, granted, I take into account the fact that a lot of people are home, so there's probably a lot of people I don't normally see in this neighborhood because of their work schedule. So, but I also feel like that can't account for the number of sort of drunken idiots that I see wandering around. So I would say nighttime streets with bars, very dangerous. I'd say sort of the transit areas, like the transitory areas between boroughs, are probably more dangerous to bike through at night. Um, the bridges, I think, are also too clogged with cyclists and exercisers. So then you also have more of a chance of getting COVID there. And I think anywhere indoors. So those are my top places. Are there places once frequented that I don't want to go to now? Yes. There's a place called Italy, which is a supermarket and sort of Italian mega restaurant, 7 restaurants in there, and it's a great supermarket. I can't go there now. I wouldn't want to go there because it's in the city. The city in general, I mean, in Manhattan, I don't really want to go. I used to hang around there. Bloomingdale's, I used to walk around Bloomingdale's and window shop. And my big thing was sort of window shopping and walking around. I don't really want to walk around because you don't want to encounter people. So I kind of I wouldn't walk around a busy area. I'd rather bike around. And I wouldn't go to the movies. I wouldn't go to do improv shows. I wouldn't go to a theater. I wouldn't go inside anywhere. I have to go to the supermarket from time to time. I'm not a huge fan of going to the supermarket. And so, yeah, pretty much anywhere indoors, I'm not a huge fan of going. And it's unfortunate, especially the shopping, because not that I buy things, but I like browsing. I like wandering around. The beauty of, New York is a walking city, right? So you walk around. And then the problem is public parks are all filled with people. So then there's really the only places to go are sort of those places I just mentioned, those sort of places between boroughs. Basically, that's it, or like along the highway. That's where like nobody is. Are there places I once disliked that I now view more positively post-COVID? My porch, my house. I probably was not as into hanging out at my house as often as I do now. Definitely, I cleaned my porch up and put plants on it, and that made it much nicer. Now I appreciate sort of the riverfront parks, Astoria Park. I would say like parks that have a riverfronts because people there's like a space where you can sort of walk where no one really is. The power plant, the Con Edison power plant, parts of Astoria, the Astoria Mansions area. There's a whole part of Astoria that's sort of closer to the river, that's near Roosevelt Island, that now I go to. The area east of my home, there's like a bunch of quiet streets that normally I wouldn't walk around, but now I walk around them because I enjoy that. Yeah, these questions are tough because my answers are sort of all the same. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be anywhere. So the only places I look for are quiet streets. The cemetery. I go to the cemetery a lot. People are dying to get in. So yeah, I would say that it's really tough to be in New York and not be able to access anything. So I hope that helps, Lisa. If you ever need anything more, just tell me and I will give you additional material.